Hello, everyone. Just a quick check. Can folks hear me? Perfect. So thank you, everyone, for making it to the on-premises data gateway session. I am Aarti. I am the program manager for on-premises data gateway. I also have a few colleagues joining me today. Samir who is going to talk about an exciting connectivity feature via the on-prem gateway, and Robert, who is the architect for the gateway. So between you and me, if you have any complex architecture questions, your day just got better. So awesome. So let's just get started. How many of you have used the gateway? Perfect. Okay. And how many of you use it with Power BI? Okay. And Power Apps and Flow? Nice. Okay. We have a good mix. So what we'll do in this session is basically, for those who are new, we'll get you caught up on what an on-premises data gateway is quickly. And then we move on to talk about the new features we've released recently. And finally, we'll touch upon what we're going to be working on in the next few months. To start with, this was a recent survey conducted by Spiceworks survey. What they found was 98% of the companies still have an on-prem presence. So what that means is, how do you connect to this data, which is actually sitting on these on-prem devices? And we have a solution. So the on-premises data gateway, this doesn't work. Okay. The on-premises data gateway provides a solution to be able to connect your on-prem data sources to the many cloud services we provide within Microsoft, some of them being Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, as you call it as of yesterday, and a bunch of other services listed out here. So what it does is it provides a secured and optimized channel to be able to connect your data to these services without actually moving this data over to the cloud. And we have a wide range of on-prem connectors. One of them Samir is going to talk about today, but we do have a bunch of them, so you can take advantage of that to connect your on-prem data directly to these services. So we have two modes of the gateway. One is the personal mode, and the other one is a standard mode. Personal gateway, as most of you might know, is used only with Power BI. The persona who would be using it would be a BI analyst trying to actually understand the data, build a few reports, and share this report, but it would run under that person's security context. And this, like I said, works only with Power BI. We do have an enterprise flavor of it, where in a truly enterprise scenario, you could use the standard mode, which really helps the admin install the gateway, create data sources, and also share these data sources to users. So you basically get a centralized data source management option, along with, say, access management as well. This can be used with all the services we spoke about. So if you're using any of these services, or more than one for that matter, you could still use the same gateway to connect. So Power BI might use this gateway to actually refresh reports, or say direct query as well. But Power Apps you could actually build Power App and read or write data to the on-prem data source. So let's just quickly go over to how Power BI uses gateways. So I've actually installed a gateway already, and now I'm just going to register this gateway. For those of you wondering, my name's just Aarti Ramasubramanian Iyer. It's been printed wrong. It's long as it is. I don't know why someone wanted to make it more long. But anyway, so we'll register a new gateway in this case. And let me call it Demo Ignite 2019. So you do need to provide a recovery key for a gateway, and you would use this recovery key when you need to recover the gateway, say on a different machine. So all the metadata related to this gateway actually comes back up when you use the recovery key and restore it. You would also use this in cases where you need to tie back, say, a new gateway member to a cluster. So whatever you do, don't forget this key. And now the gateway is getting set up. Yes, so now the gateway is online, it's set up, and it's ready to be used. One thing you do want to remember is the gateway needs to be online always, so do install it on a server instead of say your laptop, because if your laptop goes to sleep, then any of the queries going via the gateway will not really work. So now if I go to Power BI, I have a new report here which I just published, and I want to schedule refreshes here. So if I want to do this, what I would do is primarily go to the data sets, and this data set, I would go to the settings, gateway connection, and this would actually bring up the list of gateways I have access to. So if you see the new gateway we created right now actually shows up. But of course, the data sources in the report are still not created on this gateway. So if I do click on this, then I'm given an option to add these data sources. But if not, I already have a gateway which has these data sources, I just select them. So you see a drop down here because recently we enabled multiple data sources per backend system, so you can create multiple with different security context. So in this case, I just select the list from the list of data sources available. I select it, apply it, and at this point, I can just go back and schedule refreshes for the report. So when I do this, what happens in the background? So let's just switch back to our slides. Okay. In the background, what happens is Power BI is kicking off a scheduled refresh, and this actually kicks off and gets credentials for the specific data source, and also talks to the gateway service for permissions to talk to the on-premises data gateway. So once it acquires that permission using the service bus relay, it is going to send the credentials and the query to be executed out to the gateway. The gateway, once it receives it, is going to decrypt the credentials and then send this out to the data source to be executed. The data source executes it, sends the results back, and the gateway actually sends this securely back to the cloud service for us to consume it. So one thing to remember here would be that the credentials encrypted by a specific gateway can only be decrypted by that gateway. So it's completely secure, and the key which is used to actually encrypt your credentials is the recovery key you're entering when you actually create the gateway. So just going back to some more details here, a few more things to call out. When the gateway gets created, the Azure Service Bus relays for that gateway get automatically created and also get configured. So you do not have to do any additional setup in this case. It also uses HTTPS by default, but on the configurator, if you needed to actually change it back to TCP, there is an option to do so. And then it does not need any inbound ports to be configured. It uses outbound ports to communicate with the service bus relay, and that's how you would set up your gateway. So a feature we added maybe about a year ago was for the ability for us to actually create gateway clusters. So we could add more than one gateway member to a gateway cluster, and that gives you the option of high availability. So if your main primary gateway member is, say, offline for some reason, your queries don't fail. They go to your secondary and they still get executed. Along with that option, we also introduced load balancing. So you can distribute the load coming to a gateway cluster to any gateway member, and this is of course a random algorithm today, and we send these requests to gateway members based on that algorithm, and they execute it. So based on your work or workload which you send to the gateway, you could either scale up or scale out. So scaling up, of course, would be adding CPU and memory and a bunch of things, but then you could also scale out by adding more gateway members so that the load balancing can actually help you with your workload. One of the recent features we actually introduced was also tenant level management of gateways. So what we did recently was on Power Platform Admin Center, when you log in and click on data gateways, we see the list of gateways we have access to as a gateway admin. And once you can do a few management operations here, and we are continuously adding more and more features here. For instance, here, if you click on a gateway and you say open gateway, it provides you the list of gateway members and also the version of gateway which each of the members are running. Similarly, you're also able to do manage users, and this is something we released just a couple of months back. Earlier, you could add only gateway admins, but now we are standardizing this management experience not only for Power BI, but also for Power Apps and Power Automate. So we are also able to share gateways as admins, or you can share it as can use, and also can use and share. And while you do that, you can also control the list of connectors you can actually let the other person use. So that's an extra feature, but again, the can use and can use and share is only for Power Apps and Power Automate. So once you've added users, of course, it's very easy to remove them. You just have to delete a user here and you're all good to go. There are a few other options we have provided, and one is you're able to look at personal gateways as well, the ones which are used only in Power BI. So I have a personal gateway and that shows up here. Similarly, you're also able to actually look up gateways which you have installed outside of your tenant's default region. This could be scenarios where you use it with logic apps and any other services which require your gateway to be installed in a different region. So for instance, if I think I have a gateway in North Europe, so if I click on that, I would see that specific gateway show up. Apparently not. Yeah. But the drop down there should actually help you see gateways in different regions, which this was just released a couple of weeks back. And then one other piece I wanted to show here was, if you log into the same page as a tenant admin, so say an Office 365 admin, or say a Power BI service admin, and we are working also for a Power Platform service admin role, which has the same kind of visibility, but that's coming soon. So what happens is you actually by default see the list of all gateways within your organization, and you can perform all the operations which I just spoke about on the list of all gateways here. So along with that, if you see, there is a switch toggle out here where you can actually toggle it back to off, and in this case what happens is I go back and see the list of gateways I'm an admin of. So you're able to go both ways to figure out if you want to manage the gateways you're admin of versus the ones which are in your organization. Another feature which we have here for tenant admins is manage gateway installers. So in your organization, you might not want everyone to install gateways. So what you could do is basically flip this flag, click on this. Right now it's already in restrict mode, so you say yes, and only add folks you want to have access to install gateways. So if any other person tries to install a gateway, they would get an error saying that they can't install gateway and ask them to contact the global admin at that point. But this does not impact any gateway which are already installed. They are already present, they are running, so the tenant admin can't really do anything there. But this is as of that time, and in the future, this user can't really create new gateways. So switching back to our deck. So all of the functions we just spoke about on the Power Platform Admin Center, we also released Powershell for it. So you'd be able to actually automate all of these actions. And of course, like I said, as we keep adding more and more functionality on the admin center, we also plan to release related Powershell as well, so you can automate a bunch of tasks. So for instance, what we did, this specific command here you see, the get data gateway cluster scope organization. So this, if you run as a tenant admin, you're going to get the list of all gateways within your tenant or enterprise. Similarly, the scope individual would give you only the gateways you are an admin of. And again, setting up whether a gateway can be installed by someone versus not, we do have PowerShell scripts for those as well. And there's a whole lot of other PowerShell scripts which you should actually take a look at. And since this is only in public preview, do provide us feedback, because based on your feedback, we can continuously keep improving these PowerShell. Next, Samir is actually going to talk about SAP connectivity via the on-prem gateway.
Hi, everyone. My name is Samir, and I work with Arti and the team. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about is connecting to many data sources from Power Platform, which is specifically here we are talking about Power Apps and Power Automate. So how many people use SAP in your enterprise today? Quite a lot of hands, yeah. So there is a strong demand from many customers who are using Power Platform in Power BI, Power Automate, and Power Apps to be able to connect to SAP, because all big enterprises, they use SAP a lot, right? It's the system of records in many enterprises. Today, from Power Apps and Power Automate, we don't provide a direct connectivity to SAP. And when we talk about SAP, I'm talking about SAP ERP system, right? ECC and S/4HANA. So we have been, while it is possible, many companies and enterprises have done it, but it does involve setting up some custom solution because we don't provide any out-of-the-box connectivity. So what we are trying to do here is the one? Yeah. Let's see if this works. Somehow the screen has frozen. Yes. The laptop is frozen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Keep talking and I'll switch to this.
Okay, so we are announcing SAP ERP connector for Power Apps and Power Automate, which will allow you to connect to any SAP ECC or S/4HANA system. And with that, you can connect to any cloud-based, whether it is on-premise or whether it is on the cloud hosting it, and through the on-premise data gateway. You should be able to connect to any RFCs and call any RFCs and BAPIs from that connector. So why don't we just look into a demo for that one? Okay, this works perfect. So this is a Power App that we just used to talk about the context. Here, with the Power App, I'm going to show you how to connect to SAP. So in this Power App, what I have is I have a small Power App, and I'm going to show you how you connect to SAP. So in this demo, the first demo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up some data from SAP. So when I click on the search button, what it's going to do is it's going to go to SAP and fetch me some data. In this case, it's a list of banks, but it could be anything. It could be the work order status, right? So similarly, what I can also do is I can say, we can also try to write the data back to SAP. So let's call it and I click on create. What it has done, it is going to SAP and writing the data over to SAP here as well. So if I refresh it here, we should be able to see the bank that we just created called Bank Ignite Demo showing up here, right here, right? So this is a Power App. So with this Power, we make it very simple for someone to be able to build Power App and automate business processes on the Power Platform with your data in SAP. And the way it works today is very simple. You just create a bunch of flows that connects to SAP, and then you can invoke those flows from Power Apps. For instance, in this case, what we have done is we have a flow called SAP Ignite Get Bank that you can invoke when you click this button, and then we set the result in the search result variable. And then I'm just using that variable to display in a gallery. It's as simple as that. And then the way the flow looks like is the flow has 3 steps, literally 3 steps. The first one is says, I can invoke this flow from a Power App. The second one is used to call the SAP. And here you can invoke any custom RFC or any one of the standard BAPI from SAP. And then you just send the response back to Power App. And we allow authentication using SAP Basic Authentication and Windows Authentication. And Azure-based SSO is coming in the future as well. And it runs on the on-premise data gateway. You do need to install the SAP.NET connector to make it happen. This is very similar to what we do today for the Power BI SAP HANA connector as well. And we are excited to announce that this is something that we plan to ship very soon, and then we plan to take into production in GA next year. Thank you. Is it working? Thank you.
Thanks, Samir. So next we move on to a few other features which we released for the gateway. One is the performance monitoring feature. So over the past year or more, we have heard gateway admins ask us a bunch of questions like what's going on with my gateway? Why is the gateway slow? What data sources are used on my gateway? Why does one data source work better than the other? Sorry, thank you. So just to be able to answer these questions and be able to provide that information to gateway admins, we've actually looked at a short-term solution versus a long-term. So we released the short-term solution sometime in May, and we've been continuously improving that. So what happens is we do have a few configurations which you need to set up to enable logging. And when you enable logging, you're basically writing a lot of information what goes through via the gateway onto a few files on a shared drive or on the local drive. That's up to you. You're able to configure that as well. And then we also provide you an out-of-the-box template, Power BI template, to be able to connect to that seamlessly and visualize that data immediately. So you're actually able to figure out, say, when is my gateway the most busiest? Are there any bottlenecks, etc. So these are the few log files we have there. The query execution log provides great detail about what query, or rather the query, its execution time, if there's a data processing time involved in case of refreshes, and more, like if it succeeded, failed, etc. So all of that information goes into query execution. Query aggregation is something we aggregate to a certain period of time, say it's by default done at every 5 minutes, but the admin can always change that. System counter logs are also system counters which are aggregated to a certain amount of time, again configurable. And then the query start report. So this is something we added just last month because we were able to provide enough information in May saying that this specific query ID did this, took this much amount of time, but we weren't able to point out the exact query text. So users had to tie back multiple systems to get that. And now we are also actually providing the query itself, so you can figure out which ones are working fine versus not. Some of the configurations I mentioned earlier, other than the ones I already mentioned, you can also change the amount of log files to retain and the size of the log file and the report file path itself. So you could either use a local drive or a shared network drive where you could pull in multiple gateway members' log files and look at it, take a look at it holistically using the PBI template. So just doing a quick demo on the PBIT. So I have some log files sitting here in one of the report folders, and this is over a period of time which I have collected. And now I want to use this information and visualize that using the PBIT template we provide. So this is part of the download center. So the links are available in all the blogs, so you should be able to download that as you download gateways today. And now you just put in the specific path in here. So we usually load it up with the default path where we load up all the files, but if you're changing the file path, you could always update it here. And once you do that, the data gets loaded and in a bunch of pre-created visuals which we have. So for instance, we have information like how many distinct data source types were used in the last period of time for which the log was collected. You can always restrict the number of the time interval you're looking at and just concentrate on a very, very specific timeline. You could also look at specific gateway members. So for instance, here I have 3 gateway members. All of their data is going into the same common folder. So I can just select one and see information just related to that. Similarly, I have more details, and this is where the query level information really helps. So for instance, if I wanted to check which query was actually causing that spike out there, I would just click on that and the exact query text is available here now. So it makes troubleshooting in cases of slow performing queries way easier than what it was before. And also there are other detailed information with respect to say how many queries succeeded, failed. Fortunately, none of my queries failed, but if they did, then they would show up here. You would also see them by the error types as well, so you can easily debug and figure out why something failed. And then by query type, so this is interesting if you're using Power BI. So Power BI does refreshes and direct query. So in cases where you're running both on the same gateway server and you're thinking about, let's say, create a new gateway or add a new gateway member, this would give you a great idea about how much of your queries are direct versus refresh. And then there's more information regarding data sources, average data processing time, etc. You can then compare this against the system counters as well. So you can check this data against system counters and see if actually the gateway is causing your machine to overload or if there's something else running on your machine, right? So you can get all of that information from here. And a few other views, and this just depends on how you use this information. This is by data source type here, which you can further drill down into, say, if you wanted to look at only a specific data source, you're going to look up information only specific to that. More information related to query type and etc. So this is again just available for download. Try it to give us feedback so we can actually make the whole template better and serve it up to everyone else as well. But this is just based out of what we thought you might find useful, but do give us feedback again. So going back to our slides. So next I want to talk about another feature we released last month. This is related to load balancing, and this enables gateway members set throttling limits. So if you think your gateway member gets overloaded, then what you can do is we provide specific configurations. So you would go set CPU and memory limits on each of these members, and when we send a query to a specific gateway member, the load balancer will check if that member is at limit already versus not, and based off that, then they would actually send it to the next available member. And they could keep trying this unless, until they succeed or they send this information of failure back to the service providing the query. So here, the first one was tried, it did not fit in. Then we tried the second one, that again did not fit in because one or two of the limits are already met. And then it tries the third one and voila, just works. So like I said, if all three didn't work, we would just send a message back saying that the gateway members are overloaded. So this helps a great deal with making sure your gateway members don't really, they don't fail because of the queries you're running on the machine itself. And some of the configurations related to this, so we have 3 configurations. And again, a lot of these configurations hidden in config files, we totally understand, we've heard your feedback. We will make sure that these get to the UI at some point of time, but this is a way easier way to serve it up right now, so that's why they're all here. So the first one is your CPU threshold, which you want to set. The second one is a memory utilization threshold. And the third one is the average period for which we would aggregate the system counters against which we'll check these thresholds to see if a gateway member qualifies to execute a query versus not. And these are all, you would set this by gateway member, and the file you would set it up is called out there. It's a long file name, so I'm not going to attempt to read it. Finally, we also made a lot of documentation improvement in the last 6 months. In the past, Gateway used to be deeply coupled with Power BI, so we had all our documentation completely integrated into it. But since Gateway is being used with more and more services, we wanted to clarify what are general topics for Gateway versus specific to every application. So we have currently broken it down into areas specific to Power BI versus what applies to all services. And again, every other service will also have specific areas related to gateways. We also worked on rewriting a bunch of articles based on feedback. So again, there is a feedback link on every article, like at the bottom of it. Please do provide feedback, and we want to make it better so you're not searching for topics which you really look at every time. Next, we move on to what we plan to work on. But before that, just a quick recap of what we've delivered in the last 6 months. I won't touch upon things which I've already spoken about, but gateways for non-admins. So anyone using Power BI data flows would know that only gateway admins could use or create data flows. So now we also have an option for anyone who is a data source user to be able to use or create data flows. Multiple data source definition, we just touched upon it. You saw that you could create multiple data source definition by data source and on-prem data source. And in the drop-down, we saw the list earlier when we actually set it up for Power BI. Gateway management, we already did a demo. The next one is gateway scaling based on CPU. So we have certain configurations within the gateway config files, which actually tell the gateway about how much CPU and memory it needs to use. Now what we are doing is when you install the gateway, we look at how much CPU is available on the machine and adjust that accordingly. So your gateway can scale based on how much is available on the machine. Performance monitoring improvements, load balancing, we spoke about API and PowerShell. One other thing we invested in the last semester was making error messages better. So we know we had a lot of error messages which were really difficult to decipher, but we have been working on making them better. So do provide feedback in that area as well. So in the next semester, or the current semester actually, what are we focusing on? So as enterprise customers, we've received a lot of feedback in these 4 areas, and we hope to focus on these 4 areas. They being improved diagnostics, monitoring, management, and performance optimization. And of course, we will work on new capabilities as well. So going into the details, we're working on a couple of enhancements in the connectivity area, one being for Power BI. So today you are able to do SSO for direct query. We are working on a feature which allows you to pass the UPN of a dataset owner when you set up refreshes as well. This really helps in scenarios where you are putting in someone's username and password today, but tomorrow the password changes and you need to go update it. So this will help in cases where you actually do a UPN transfer. You just click on a checkbox and the dataset's owner's UPN always gets used when the dataset is refreshed. The second one we're working on, and this should come pretty soon, is gateways in non-default environment. So folks who are using Power Apps want to create different environments. But today, as most of you know, we are able to use gateways only in the default environment in Power Apps and Flow, or rather Power Automate, yes. So in this case, and you actually do a manual process today. So most of you might actually create a support ticket to be able to link this gateway to a specific non-default environment. What we're doing is we are trying to automate this whole process. And the process will look like it will try to match the region of the gateway along with the region of the environment, and using that mapping, all the gateways where these regions match will actually show up in each of these environments. So we don't have to do an explicit mapping anywhere, and you don't have to create a customer service ticket. The next few features we're working on, the gateway management experience on Admin Center. We will continuously improve that. We will be adding Power Platform Service admin roles there, so they get a tenant level view of all gateways as well. We will also work on gateway properties, status, adding that information and being able to remove, disable and enable gateways as well. And finally, we'll also add more and more as we go, like Power BI data sources which are available on the Manage Gateways page, etc., to be in one centralized location. So that way, gateway management is standard across all products using it, and you can just come to one place to manage all your gateways. And one key feature which huge enterprises have requested is command prompt install of gateways. So you would create an environment where you have multiple servers, you need a lot of gateways, you might use them for testing, prod, etc. And every time you require to have a manual intervention to be able to install gateways, because you need to provide your email address to be able to register that. So what we are doing in this current semester is to be able to do this via command prompt install, so you can automate a lot of this and you don't need to have a manual intervention in this case. And finally, more and more features as they get delivered, we will enrich our APIs in PowerShell and make sure that they are constantly updated so you can keep automating a lot of these features using PowerShell. So this is a list of sessions my team's actually working on, but of course it's Thursday evening, so I know that most of these sessions are already done, but we do have a CDM session coming up tomorrow. Most of you should attend, but you can catch up on the rest online because a lot of these are related, so a lot of these sessions would have actually covered how to use gateways as well in data flows, Power BI, etc. So this would make up for the entire ecosystem and show you end-to-end how things get used. So that's all I had for this session. Do you have questions? Thank you.